No, go ahead. You can say whatever you was gonna say.
Oh, you got to record? No, I was talking about just like relationships, but having, dealing with a lot of stuff. But you just gotta find somebody who can deal with it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, relationships is a push and a pull. Compromise and those things. So,
I mean, I think back then I didn't deal with a lot of shit, like for real, for real. But we can't all be like you now. That's why I call you a player.
nah, man, that ain't me. I just be chilling. But most hated podcast. Y'all know what time it is. Hopefully y'all been waiting. If you haven't, you're missing out. I'm Kenos Davis.
Paul Honeywood, subscribe.
And today, we appreciate y'all tuning in. As always, hopefully y'all are checking out the entire videos. I know some people only watch a snippet of it, but it's worth listening to the whole thing. We got a lot of good info in there, a lot of good gems, a lot of good opinions, a lot of good debates and arguments. So maybe the more we do, the more you guys can invest into checking us out. But once again, we appreciate it. Follow us on YouTube. Comment, like it, subscribe to it.
Facebook.
Share it. What he said. But we here again. So we're going to just see what's going on in popular culture and society and see what we think about it.
All right, man. Let me ask you first, though, while it's on. You ever going to turn the air on here? Be having my big ass sweating.
Man, I gotta wait till this Nest charge up. all this tech, man. Sometimes you just wish you could go back to the regular unit. So
yeah, me just sitting here sweating, man.
I know, man. We in the dungeon right now. We working, so it's cool.
All right, man. Let's get on your boy first off.
Who?
Your boy Kyrie Irving. What's up, man?
Okay. I mean, what you thinking?
Man, he been running his mouth a lot lately. Some people listening to him, some people not. You heard what he said, right?
What about the not playing?
Yeah, about not playing. Telling us when the players don't need to play. Now, last week, or was it 10 days ago, he was talking about he was happy to go. He didn't have a problem. But since they told him he not playing, he can't go. Now, all of a sudden, he talking about, nah, the players don't need to go up there. I'm tired of this diva, man.
So you think he's salty?
Yeah, he's salty.
Okay.
Everything in life he's salty about. He hate LeBron. He hate Isaiah Thomas. I'm talking about little Isaiah Thomas. Like, he's just salty about it. I'm really getting tired of that too, man. He just keep on saying things like, he just making up stuff. We need to make our own league. Now, I know we need to do that, but I think he just said that as clickbait.
Well,
I really don't think he believes that. I honestly don't think.
I think he believes it, and I mean the only reason I say that is because I've had that thought and I've had that conversation in the last few years.
Do you think the Earth is flat?
No, I don't think the Earth is flat.
All right.
But I'm a very open-minded person. So that meaning that I don't think the Earth is flat, but I also don't prescribe to the notion that I know everything. Even if somebody tries to tell me that, the Earth is round, or it's this many planets, or whoop-de-whoop, like I listen to it, but I also just reserve judgment. But at the same time, I don't think the Earth is flat, though. To me, that was going too far. But then again, I don't really blame people if they so choose to think like that. I don't look at them like other people do. I kind of look at it like, hey, he's a free-thinking individual. He can think what he wants.
So he's just going to walk off Earth? Is that what you're talking about?
Have you been to the edge of the Earth?
No one's been to the edge of Earth.
Maybe that's the point. You see what I'm saying? So, but like I said, I mean, I feel I don't think the Earth is flat, but yeah, Kyrie is just he's a free thinker. I don't really hold anything against him for that. Though it comes off a particular type of way sometimes, like you said, it comes off like he's being a diva, or he's being spoiled, or he's being sensitive, or these different things. But I mean, he's his own individual person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but it comes to like the lies, the misconception like when he got on that phone call with the NBA PA or whatever, when he made the decision, said none of the players want to go play. He lied. He didn't even talk to nobody.
I kind of heard that
Stephen
report.
A. Smith even said that Kyrie didn't even know Chris Paul was on the phone listening in.
Right.
And he just started lying about, hey, everybody said we don't want to go play. Like, come on now. Like, what you doing?
Yeah, I think Kyrie tries to be his own version of like a revolutionary, but like he's just trying his hand at it. He doesn't necessarily know what will work and what won't work. He just kind of throwing himself out there.
Pandering.
I think
He's pandering.
that's what the word you want to use.
This man said he want to start a new league. He's not going to do anything to help that. I guarantee you're not going to hear nothing else about it.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, I wish they would though. I mean, I'll speak to that a little bit. Like, I just feel like with everything that's happened, everything that's going on right now in society, we see all these these companies switching their tone about black people and, doing away with certain logos, dealing away with certain practices, donating to black organizations and the such. But I think the biggest part to the whole puzzle is black people realizing how much economic power we have. Like, we are the largest consumers possibly in the world. I know we're the biggest consumers in America, but possibly the world. And for us to be viewed as a people who are in poverty or at the bottom of the ladder, however they want to perceive us, if we're the biggest consumers, we got some money. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't be the biggest consumer and not have no dough. So if that's the case, if we got money, we need to do something with it. You know what I mean? Like, we need to be really coming together, forming the same way they form these hedge fund companies or these capital investment firms, these different things like real estate groups, these super PACs, all these different things. Like, we need to be doing these types of moves to build, build our assets, build real estate, build commercial buildings, like all this we could have because clearly we have enough money and we can especially with sports. And real quick, I'll throw it back to you. Like, especially with sports, if the NBA, that's what I feel like one of the biggest issues is in the black community is that we don't own what we're the best at. Like, if you're the best at it, you should own it. Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense. Like, if you are the best player on the field, if your people make up the highest percentage of a particular league, why wouldn't you own it? You're what people are coming to see. We're not going to games to look at Adam Silver do a windmill. You see what I'm saying? Like, Adam Silver is cool. I would, he could be the commissioner in this other league that needs to be created, but we need to own it. That's what the issue is. If we own what we were the best at, we would be one of the ruling classes, and that's the fact because we have many industries that bring in a lot of money. So,
well, it's ironic because I had this debate today with this other guy talking about black people need to have their own basketball league, and I told him, I was like, well, yes and no. Well, I told him yes, but I was like, of course we need it. It's just like what you just said.
Right.
But then I was like, you have to understand, like, because he was comparing it to the NFL, and I was like, dude, this ain't nowhere near the NFL. Like, the NBA is pro-black. Like, if something happens, Adam Silver is gonna, he's gonna go with the black, what's right. And I was telling him how, black people, like you said, we actually they control the league. Black people control the league, the NBA. Like, they get their money, they get guaranteed salaries. And then he brought up Kyrie Irving, and I was like, Kyrie ain't got nothing to worry about. Like, he's not thinking about all the employees that aren't getting paid, for the league. And I was like, he's getting paid $35 million. He don't care.
Right.
But then you got people like John Morant, who's on a rookie contract. Granted, it's more than, us. But I go back to the league is just like the NBA is, I won't say that they treat them better, but I mean they do try to do what's best for black people, but we do need to have our own league. It's just, I think at times people confuse the NBA with Major League Baseball or NFL, like, Roger Goodell. I see through all of this, hey, Black Lives Matter. Y'all just saying that because y'all don't want to lose the black fans.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's why I was like, did you hear about Mike Gundy, the Oklahoma State coach?
What'd he say?
He had like a alt-right shirt on.
Okay.
And one of the famous football players, he's a Heisman candidate. He saw and was like, I'm not playing for the school ever again until something gets done. And of course, the Mike Gundy switched it over like the next day. He made a video, apologized, and then he made another video the next day after that and apologized.
Right.
And I was like, man, white people only say that because they don't want to lose their black athletes. It's just
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta retain your staff. You gotta retain
exactly.
the people that make the wheel turn. That makes everything go. And that's back to my point. Like within that small interaction between a man wearing a T-shirt supporting a certain group to his player not wanting to play. Just within that small situation highlights how much power we have single-handedly. Mm-hmm. Single-handedly. So that means that player can say, hey, I'm not playing unless you do this. Basically, that's the point we're at. We as black people shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z if you don't do X, Y, and Z. Like we have to hold things ransom. I think that's the biggest, with all the protesting, all the chaos that's going on out here. I think the easiest way to make change is to hold ourselves hostage against the system, essentially. We will not do this unless you do this. We won't play unless you wear this, until you stop wearing this T-shirt. We won't show up to work until every racist or colonial icon statue is removed. Like we have to show them like the time is up.
Right.
The time is up with the bullshit.
You see they took the name Aunt Jemima off the cereal.
And I mean all the all of that stuff is cool, and I just don't want people to get tricked.
Right.
Like you said.
Right.
I don't want people to get tricked into thinking that because a company does that or because they put Black Lives Matter on the street in DC that you can see from space. Don't get tricked by none of this stuff. This is all just the ruling class and the system is all about symbolism. So they will do little symbolic things to convince you that they've changed, that they've turned over a new leaf. They haven't changed a goddamn thing. And they're not going to change anything until we hold shit ransom. And that's like, it's literally like a figurative type of ransom. Like I'm not even talking about, the physical, details of that actual word. This is some shit where it's like, yo, these are our demands. Right. I don't know if you saw where the founder of BET, I believe his name is Bob Johnson, he called out for black people to receive reparations, and I think it was an amount of like 14 trillion or 14 billion. No, I think it was 14 billion, I believe. I'm sorry. And he's had interviews about it, and Bob Johnson is a billionaire himself. After he sold BET to Viacom, which that's a whole nother conversation about black ownership. But throughout his business dealings, he became a billionaire, and so he feels as if black people should receive basically cash due to slavery. And maybe we can go into it now. We can go to it a little bit later because it's a pretty deep conversation. But it all goes to my point is that the jig is up. Mm-hmm. The jig is up. As they can see, black people are very unsettled. Black people are very upset. And we're just not here for it right now. Like, and I think this is the first time where it almost seemed like a majority of us are on the same page. And that never happens.
Right.
That never happens, sadly enough. But, we come together for, some small things, some fun things, but getting us on the same page as it relates to our lives and politically, I think right now is a very crucial time in history. I think this is the time like you have to strike while the iron's hot, essentially.
Well, that's what I was going to get into. I was going to ask you, so I wanted to get your opinion. Do you think NBA players should go back playing or should they just sit out? Because, you got Dwight Howard who's saying that if we play, that's going to take away from the protest. But then you got, other people, I don't know if it was LeBron, someone said, well, if we have the cameras on us, we can do our own protests in our own way. So I want to get your opinion on it because I feel as though they should go back. Like, it's not just that. It's just people have jobs that they still
Yeah, that
live.
depends.
They live off of that.
Right.
And like you said, you go to work, I go to work, you can still protest. Like,
Right, absolutely.
No one said you don't have to protest. So,
Right.
How do you feel about it, man?
I understand it on both sides. I understand it from the side of like being a selfish NBA guy. You just want them back playing so badly. Like you just want to be able to see it because, the NBA season was just basically ripped from us and you just like, oh shit, like this has never happened before. So I understand it from that side. And I also understand it from, people depending on it for their livelihood. So, the more logical side of it. I also understand the side of not playing. You could talk about Muhammad Ali and how he sacrificed a portion of his career for the cause, and that's what a lot of our the great leaders of our community in the past. That's what they were known for. They were known for really putting it out there on the line, even if it cost them financially. And that's a interesting part of it because that's really the only place where you're going to find that things really change is when you decide to sacrifice it all, knowing that you might not reap the benefits of it immediately. It might be your kids or it might be your grandkids. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a big part of our community as well, as far as pushing us into the future, is that we have to start planning for the future and not just our immediate future, our children's future, our children that we might not even have had yet, children that are not even born yet. We have to start preparing for them now, and giving them a roadmap to success. It shouldn't be any children born with no direction once they've entered the world. Like they should be receiving clear, exact instructions on how to succeed, and a part of that is sacrificing the now for the later. So I get, the idea of them not playing to support the cause because, like I said, you got to strike while the iron's hot. You can do it. You can play and do what you need to do. It just would have a bigger effect if they were to decide to pull away and not play the season, because it would show people in the world that they are really trying to stand for something. And I'm gonna tell you, I think they're gonna play, but if they didn't play Paul, it would shake shit up. Like just like with the whole Donald Sterling thing, if those Clipper players or the NBA players had decided not to play and caused the NBA to lose all that money, that would really rock society, because it would like that small situation, like I said, that can show you how much power we have. That's the type of example that would really show, oh, okay, they're here to play ball now. Like us as a community, like we're standing up as a whole for ourselves. It's not just like this group thinks this group thinks that. This group wants to play. This group doesn't want to play or whatever. They have their differences. It would be like this united front. And a united front, they're scared of a united front, like a real united front, especially one that impacts economically.
Well, I was gonna say one athlete that actually gave it all up, to help out was Maya Moore. Did you know?
I remember seeing an article about her leaving the game to do something. I can't think of it on the top of my head.
Prison reform.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I heard her interview not too long ago, man. She's doing a lot of things, and it's being swept under. One is because she's a woman, of course. Two, a lot of people just don't care. I mean, I'm saying us, I'm saying it in general, but
right.
She's doing a lot. But that's a good example of just sacrificing, her career. She was in her prime.
Yeah, absolutely. Maya Moore was the best in the game.
Exactly. So that's a good example. But it's just like the fluff about Colin Kaepernick. I know we talked about it last week, but people talking about, we're thinking about trying him out now. I'm like, but what happened these last 4 years? Like nothing's changed. Now all of a sudden, y'all, it's like a publicity stunt.
It absolutely is a publicity stunt.
Cat will get on the team, and then he'll never play. And then they're like, "Oh, we had to cut him." You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I honestly think if somebody signs him, they'll go out their way to keep him on the team.
Well, Anthony Lynn, the head coach of the Chargers, he said that he's definitely going to try him out. But you know, I think that's another publicity stunt because they don't have fans anyway. Fans don't go to their games. I know you probably don't know, but fans don't go to their games. But
Charger games.
yeah, Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, they haven't been too good the last.
Yeah,
few years.
and they relocated. So,
Right.
What's a good way to get more fans is to have Colin Kaepernick out there. Hey,
Right.
we stand with Colin. You know, we kneel
Right.
with him or whatever.
Well, I mean, I think they, you know, these NFL teams and these owners, they have to wrestle with themselves over this Kaepernick thing because you could get positive publicity from signing him, but you could also alienate a part of your fan base who could be the majority of your fan base, you know. So they have to kind of play hot potato with that and decide whether, you know, they'll give up one for the other. But like I said, I think if a team decides to take him, you know, of course they'll be leading. It's just like when he did the deal with Nike, and they gave Nike all them props. Oh, look at Nike and Nike doing the right. Man, bro, listen, bro. At the end of the day, these companies only worry about the dollar. They do not give a damn about your politics.
Exactly.
Is that if it ain't green, they don't want to hear about it. So if helping you out, you as this political symbol of oppression, getting along with your campaign is gonna make you look good, they're gonna do it. I mean, that's just what it is. If you do something they don't like, they'll pull the deal, they'll pull the sponsorship. If they think that it'll help them, they'll rock with you. Pure and simple. All of it is rooted in political correctness. It's kind of like that. I think you made a point at the beginning about how, you know, people are changing their tune, but you know deep down like nothing's changed, right? But it's hidden within the political correctness, right? So same thing with like, you know, when it went from you know, the civil rights era to kind of past the civil rights era where, you know, it kind of looked like America had changed. Well, it changed in the sense that people, you know, white people felt like they couldn't just outright lynch you on a tree outside in 2020, but as you can see, that's kind of been going on. But the change happened in a political correctness where the racism still existed. It was just, you know, under covers a little bit. You know, it was a little bit more subtle. It was a little bit more systematic. It was a little bit more legal. But it's all in the political correctness. They're gonna save face. These companies are gonna save face.
Right.
I mean, you know, and while we speak into these changes, Aunt Jemima, y'all did what y'all did. The Washington Redskins, y'all need to be next.
Nah.
Y'all need to change that. I mean, we could talk about that. I feel like they need to change that name at the end of the day. Calling a Native American a redskin, that shit is a racial slur. And I know it got a history to it. I know, you know, people love traditionalism in the sense of like that's what they grew up on and that's what they've always known.
Well, that's how racism is, though.
Right, exactly. It's just ingrained, and that's the point. It's like with the statues, rip all them shits down. I don't care who the leader was. I don't care about no Christopher Columbus. I don't care about no King Leopold from Belgium. I don't care about General Lee and the Confederacy. I don't care about none of these folks. Either these people are murderers, evil racists, colonialists, whatever you want to call them. They got to ride. They have no place in the new world, the free world. They have no place in it. It's just like I said, it's a symbol of oppression, and they know that. They know when people look up at those things, that's what they see.
Well,
they need to ride.
Well, going back to the question, so which one would you prefer? You would prefer the NBA players to sit out or to play?
Truth be told, if I had to be logical and make a decision, I would say don't play.
Okay.
Because I feel like it would just make the biggest of impacts in the world. Even though people gonna have to suffer for it, employees gonna have to lose some money. But as we can see with COVID, sometimes even when you don't choose, other things happen where it forces you not to work. You see what I'm saying? So you rather make that decision for yourself and for a cause. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it just is what it is. It'll rebound. You know, people will survive.
I just want LeBron to win, man.
I know, man. Like I said, that's just my, adult answer. You know what I mean? Being logical as I can be. But of course, I want LeBron to play. LeBron was hooping right before the season got postponed, hooping out his mind, showing people that he's still the best player at year 17. I don't care what you say. Kawhi don't play enough games. He's out the conversation. Steph Curry injured. He's out the conversation. Kevin Durant injured, out the conversation. So, I mean, come on. It's LBJ. Come on, man.
Well, did you have something on the docket, man, besides Kyrie?
Well, I guess since we last talked, I think the Rashard Brooks incident happened, the Rashard Brooks shooting. I know everybody saw that. Very, very unsettling video for me, especially watching the body cam footage of their conversation. It was such a normal conversation. Mm-hmm. It really like kind of pulled you into like that could have easily been you. You know what I mean? Not in the sense that you would have resisted and all that, but just in the sense like, that first of all, it was in our city that we live in. You know what I mean? So it happened right up the road. You know what I mean? So it's like this not something that happened in Minnesota or happened elsewhere. This happened in Atlanta. And the funny thing about it was, right before it happened, in my mind, I was like, and even in the past, I always used to give APD a little bit of credit because I always felt like, for me in Atlanta, like I haven't had really too many run-ins with the police. Simple like violations. A little bit of speeding, a little bit, maybe a tent ticket here and there. But outside of that, I really ain't just been through the ringer as far as just my interactions with them. So I kind of wanted to give our city the benefit of the doubt, like, we got some good people, and not to say we don't on our police force, but right as I'm about to give them credit, that incident happens, and as we see today, that cop has charges has been filed on that police officer.
Got charged for 11 counts.
Yeah, once they broke the video down in slow motion, I think they said at the point where he got shot, he was about 16 to 18 feet away from that cop. So clearly he wasn't an immediate threat, and they knew he didn't have a gun. All he had was the taser. But once again, I mean, that cop's ego was hurt. That's the biggest thing. He tries to put this guy in cuffs, and the black guy basically then bulldozed two dudes at one time, ripped the weapon from their hand, and then took off. Which I don't even see how. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't see how that's possible, but either way, I just think that once they looked at it, they saw that he was no immediate threat,
but you know why? So I didn't look at everything. I just know they got 11 counts, but. Why did the other cop get charged? Like, because he was trying to use his taser. He was tasing him, but
I think he got charged with assault. I know they mentioned something about after Rashard got shot. I guess
the one that kicked him, or is that the other guy? One of the officer that shot him kicked him when he got.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they made a report about some activity that they did right after he was shot. So I don't know if that younger cop, the one who initially was talking to Rashard, did something that would cause them to charge him in that way.
But that other cop the one that shot him, he had a record already. Like,
I mean, mostly.
Background. But he shot 3 times, and one of the bullets went into an SUV, like a.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. I saw all those cars, and I was telling people, I was like, "Yo, it was like a full line at Wendy's."
It went into an SUV.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's like a family of 4 in there.
Wow, that's crazy. That's nuts. That's nuts. And I was just having this conversation about police, and I'm not a police officer, so there's only so much I can really say about it. But just from my perspective, I feel like police. I think I've said this on here before. Like, police have a very difficult job, and yes, it's what you signed up for. Yes, bad things come along with that, but I think it also speaks to there is racism, systemic racism throughout the police force and ranks and these different things. The evidence is clear. There's been evidence, so that's not a debate. But there's also a lack of training that exists there. A lack of training in de-escalation, a lack of training in one-on-one interactions with a person. So I think that's just as much of a issue in the sense that these cops are just jumping out the window, when these situations occur. And I think they're so trained to think the worst about a situation, which I can't necessarily blame them for. But at the same time, when you watch a video and you see Rashard just having a casual conversation with these people, whether he's drunk or maybe he's sober enough from being drunk, he didn't took him a nap, so he's had that post drunk nap where you kind of still hazy a little bit. That's kind of where he seemed to me with his interaction. He didn't seem like he was a currently drunk person necessarily, but I could be wrong. But when you just watch that video and you see how normal the interaction was, and to know that the man lost his life shortly thereafter, man, it's a lot to take in. It's just like that happened right up the street. That happened in the city you live in. You could have passed those cops at some point in your life, or that you could have been possibly pulled over. Or you could have been. I'm sure some people have been pulled over. So, obviously,
I got a friend on Facebook who showed his police report. He got pulled over a month ago. And he was like, that name seems familiar. And he looked at the name. It was the cop that shot him. So.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, yeah, but a lot of times it's just the cops are afraid. I had one speeding ticket in Columbus, and it was an old cop. Man, this cop was like, he should have retired at the age. He had to be like 65, and he came over to my side of the car. And he was terrified. Like, he was terrified of me. And I'm sitting here, terrified of him, thinking like, hey, you look like you about to shoot me, So I think that's part of it. And of course, it's the racial profiling too. Now, granted, in this situation, like, they did the right thing at first. They were talking to him. But then, like you said, I think it was more of their ego was hurt. That, everyone's watching around. He got his ass whooped. He's whooping our ass. Oh, now he's getting away. And, like, they had all the information they needed on him. If he got away, I mean, so be it. Go get him later. You got his card, ID, everything. So
they can't call back into their sergeant or whoever's in command and sir, we had a suspect, possible DUI. We went to apprehend the suspect. The suspect beat both of us up. Took our taser, ran off, shot the taser. I mean, they would be looked at like they would probably bust out laughing.
Yeah, but guess what? That's better than where they at right now.
It is, because but you know what? You know what's so funny about it is because when these police officers get fired, immediately GoFundMe accounts pop up for these cops, and these cops be making a lot of money from these GoFundMes.
Yeah, definitely.
People be supporting them out the wazoo. They be probably making more money doing that than they do on the job.
Yeah,
so the funny thing about it is, I was thinking about that today. I was in the car thinking about that, and I was like, that could be in their mind, that could be their retirement package.
Exactly.
They like, shoot, I'm gonna get to a certain point, shoot me a black dude, get fired, I'm gonna get off the charges, and I might not be able to be a cop, but my GoFundMe gonna have $950,000 in it. So
some of them get paid leave still.
Yeah.
Like they get.
Yeah.
So I mean, you right. I don't know, man. It's just hard. Like I said, just stay in the house. Just stay in the house.
Nah, I'm not staying in the house. I just don't have no fear when it come to these folks, man. Like, it's just like, and I feel like that's how we gotta be in, as a people. It's like what's up? You know what I mean? Y'all got a problem with me? Come see me.
Well,
I mean, come see me. Like, it's just like I'm not running from no man. I don't care. We got no badge, no gun, none of that. Like, people got guns out here too.
That's true.
Like, come on, like.
But that same energy you got right now, you need to use that against me in one-on-one, bro. You said the next time I saw you, what's up?
I mean, we gotta go to the court. I get mad about hoop, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Whether it be real hoop, 2K, and people that know me, I get pissed off.
We can play 2K or we can go hoop.
You
They got a light
don't
in the gym?
You don't want it.
They got a light on the court?
Possibly. I gotta go back out. They changed it up because of COVID.
Oh.
Come on.
You said next time I see you,
we can hoop this week. We can hoop this I'm ready.
Man.
I'm ready.
Nah, man.
I'm ready. But yeah, we can get out there though for real. I need to get out there. But yeah, man, it's just once again, it's a lot going on in the world. They still protesting. The people still, out there fighting.
Have you seen the houses where white people calling the cops saying, black people putting Black Lives Matters on it, and then they confess later and be like, oh, we just staged it. We didn't really do it. I was like, see, that's messed up now. You trying
What you mean what they mean? What you mean they staged it?
They were saying like black people were spray painting their house, Black Lives Matter and things like that. But then like a week later they'll say, oh, we faked it. We actually did it. Ourselves.
Who, the black people?
The white people. The white people were actually spray painting their own house, saying black
people. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, just like for that Wendy's they burned down. That was a white woman that started the fire.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I think it's been a few.
So even in that, we get blamed for that.
I mean, that's just the chaos of this society, man. Like, I was actually having that conversation earlier too. It's like there's so many independent factions within a community. Not every black person is the same. Not every white person is the same. Not everybody of any one given background is the same. So when stuff like this happens in society, and say like, it's people out here that think Black Lives Matter is like the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking like, well, I know I would have been in the Black Panthers, and I'm not. I think Black Lives Matters, but I'm not. Whatever group, the actual entity that Black Lives Matter is, I'm not in it. Mm-hmm. I never been to a Black Lives Matter meeting. You see what I'm saying? I don't know who the president of Black Lives Matter is. I don't know who the vice president is and the secretary. I didn't know it was a group. I thought it was just a hashtag. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Killed that lady that helped start Black Lives Matter. Did you see
the young girl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we need to talk about that a little bit. I know I've been hearing, people saying that they feel like black women aren't protected and they aren't respected and their voices aren't being heard. So we can speak a little bit to that. Of course, the shooting of Breonna. Is it Breonna Taylor?
Yes, Taylor.
Okay.
So how, going back on what you just said, how you feel about it? I just saw that on Facebook where a lot of women are saying they don't feel protected by black men. Like, obviously, we're two men, so we can't speak for them. But I mean, how do you feel about it? Because I can't. I don't know how to say none of us protect, our black women.
Right. Of course, some of us do. And it all, I think, I don't know. They're speaking to as a whole. I'm assuming that's what they mean when they say they don't feel protected, maybe as a culture. And I think that a lot of that is, I think a lot of that's systemic, issues that have plagued us for, coming out of slavery and the dynamics between the black man and the black woman and the family structure and those different things. I think that a lot of those issues stem from that. I think that the way a black man interacts with a black woman, the way a black woman interacts with a black man on the whole is not how it should be. And I think that's for various reasons, on both sides, whether it be something the man is doing or something the woman is doing. I think that it's not all of us, obviously. And, nobody's perfect, but I think that, as a community, we just have to stand up for each other, stand up for women, stand up for men, stand up for our children, stand up for our families, like I said, a united front, you know what I mean? Like there should be no, kids born without their fathers. There should be no, parents absent from the household and not contributing to a child's life. And there shouldn't be, domestic violence, putting our hands on each other. There shouldn't be any of that, and things do happen, but there should be a concerted effort to just treat each other better in our community. And I think that would take us a long way, just making better decisions as it relates to how we interact with each other.
Well, it kind of irked me today when I saw it because it was like women first is, black men ain't shit. then it's Black Lives Matter, then it's black men.
No, that's a fact.
Black men don't make us feel
Hey,
same
look, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I don't be saying nothing. I kind of be saying something here and there. Maybe I'll make a post about it on Facebook. But I be feeling like straight up, like I be getting attacked as a black dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Just,
like,
when I just be chilling out of my own business, I feel like, people be having these thoughts about black men, and they, and not to say that I've never made a generalization about a woman, because I have. And typically I don't get mad about people making generalizations. If you say all men are dogs, I'm not going to get mad at that, because I know a lot of dogs. Not everybody's a dog, but I know a lot of them to know that generalization ain't that bad, that far off. But just in general, like I feel like really like I'll be just chilling out of my business, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, yeah, and that and these black men, they da 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 da. It's either I'm telling you, Paul, it's either we don't make enough money, we not trying to take care of a woman and a household, and we lazy, we don't want to work, we players.
But so like today I was on, and one chick said, she put that on there that men don't protect us, I can't stand black men, and then the guy was like, so you mean all black men or just the black men you've dated? And she was like, no, all black men. It was like, but how can you say that about all black men?
We'll see. Okay, so this is where people mess up at. They put themselves around certain people.
You're right.
Those people that they chose to be around mistreat them.
Exactly.
And then, but the issue is that they're upset because they brought, and I'm not, it's this whole culture of people saying you're victim blaming and all this and that. They make it, you can victim blame about anything. They'll say, oh my God, you're victim blaming. Oh my God, when are men gonna take responsibility? And that is a real thing. Like, nobody should be mistreating you.
Right.
But the reality is that there are people out there that aren't good people that will use you and abuse you. And the fact of the matter is that most of the time the red flags be there, and that doesn't just entail women. I use
that as a joke. I tell people that all the time, like, hey, the signs are there. Like,
yeah,
right in your face.
I mean, the fact is that people be saying that they like who they like, and so when you say that, you're basically saying that whoever I like, whoever I choose to give my time to, you also have to understand that you have to take what comes with that.
Right.
So if you like this, so it's just like the conversation I've had before with people, like or even a girl I'll be like, y'all like players. Why wouldn't a dude be a player? That's what y'all like. And they'll try to sit there and try to argue up and down. No, we don't. We don't like no player. We want somebody that's just about us, that just call us and think about us. Yeah, you want the person that you like to do that. But the issue is that the type of dude that you like is going to be a dude that's got charisma, that's slick, that can dress nice, that got a certain car, that look a particular type of way. Mm-hmm. So you think you the only girl that he can get?
Yeah, exactly.
You think a dude would just be with you and he got droves of women throwing themselves at him and he's not going to partake in that too? I mean, and like I said, men have to make, if a man is going to be in a relationship and commit to a woman for real, then yeah, you don't need to be doing any of that. If you're married, you really don't if you decide to commit to a person in that way, y'all have signed that contract or made that bind in that way, y'all got a family, etc., then you need to uphold that to the best of your ability. And if you can't, then you need to talk to your significant other about it. You need to get divorced, whatever you need to do to make sure that, either way the situation might go bad, but at least you didn't add another layer to it by treating a person the wrong way. So there's accountability that needs to be had on both sides, but women need to stop thinking that they don't hold none of that weight. You see what I'm saying? They really be thinking that. A lot of them be thinking that they perfect and that everything that they do is right. And the whole time they got their own shit they bring to the table. Yeah, this dude is mistreating you. Well, you're spending all his money too. That's an issue. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of issues out here that can be discussed. But like I said, I think on a regular basis, I've been seeing like they've been throwing shots like heavy, like from the bleachers. They throwing them shots at us right now. So, but like you said, 1 minute is all dudes ain't nothing, and then the next minute is Black Lives Matter. So, it's all different issues, internal, community issues that we need to sort out too. So,
nah, man. See, since I'm getting married soon,
right?
We need to get on to you, bruh.
Why?
Kenos Davis. We need to get on you, man.
Why?
What's up, man? How long you gonna be in this single life?
I don't know, man. I mean, I got some goals and some different things on my mind outside of relationships and getting married and things like that. Like you can, and that's not to say you can't do them all at the same time, because you can. I just individually, I feel like I have to get to a certain mental space to commit in that way. I don't have any children, so that's a good thing. I want to be very prepared for that. Like, back to my point about preparing our children. Like, I really want to do as much as I can when I have a family. You know what I mean? Like, I want my kids to have the best. I want them knowing multiple languages. I want them traveling. I want them playing multiple instruments. Like, I want them to be, I want them to excel. Like,
sound like my dad, and that it didn't happen.
I mean, people still, end up having their own personality. So, that does take place. I just want to be able to, anything to give them a head start. You know what I mean? Like, anything to prepare them for. I mean, come on. I mean, look at the world, man. We live in a crazy world. So you got to prepare these kids. You got to let them know what's coming for them.
Well, from my experience, from my sister who's had a child, my cousin just had a baby. Just talking to people, you're never gonna be ready for a baby. Like, you're never.
I mean,
I'm not saying go ahead and shoot the club up and
right.
get a chick pregnant.
Right.
I'm saying, like, I don't have any children, but I'm engaged too, and we're not gonna have a baby right, after we get married. But they say you're never prepared for it. But you got to take these baby steps. So you gotta have it where me and my girl go out and be like, oh, there's Kenos and his better half. You gotta do that, man.
No, I feel that. Like I said, people got their own reality in their mind, and like, I'm just kind of trying to, accomplish some things, before I can really put my energy into something like that. But
I hear you, Mom.
But I mean, yeah, you're never absolutely ready, but just say like financially or mental space. Like, I just feel like I got to be in a certain place. I feel like I got to have a certain amount of money before I'm even like can wrap myself around bringing a kid into this world. I have to absolutely know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, certain things I just and I know, like you said, it's never the right time or whatever. I just feel like I should be able to plan it a little bit better.
Oh, yeah, I got you. I'm just saying baby steps, though.
Yeah, and I feel that.
You gotta find you just that one chick.
I feel that.
Yeah,
I feel that.
I see you playing.
I feel it. When that situation happens, it'll be a good situation. So, definitely something I'm looking forward to, for real. So,
I mean, I can honestly say, me being in a relationship, nothing's really changed. I still do everything I was doing when I was single, besides talking to multiple women.
Yeah.
Everything else, like, I go hoop, play my game, whatever, like hang out with friends, whatever.
Right.
So nothing's changed except you got that companionship now.
Yeah, I mean, but relationships ain't, that
is all glitter and gold.
Yeah, and see that, I think that's the part where, like, I kind of stutter a little bit, is where things ain't going necessarily good, because I'm quick to like reconsider a situation, because once I see kind of like a pattern of things, I'm just like, I don't know.
That's understandable. Like I said before, before Nicole, like I was dating a lot, and I cut this shit off real quick. Like I got a short temper, not temper, but like I cut it off real. Like it's zero tolerance over here. But after a while, like you have to compromise with certain things. I'm just not gonna let fly.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. I haven't gotten my compromise bag yet. My compromise bag, like I'm not quite in that bag yet. You know what I mean?
But I know, like with me, I'm an asshole. So
right.
Nicole puts up with a lot of stuff with me, but at the same time, like I understand that. like I know my flaws, so you know I'm like if she can deal with it, then you know I know she ain't perfect either. Now I done
Right.
dated a lot of women who I was just like, nah, I can't, like you know I can't deal with that and things like that. But I don't know, man. You gonna have to. We getting old, man.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I always saw myself as an old parent and all that in it. Yeah, I mean, because I don't know, I just want to be like as prepared as I can be. You know what I mean? And like you said, like nothing's gonna be perfect. You're not gonna absolutely be ready, 100%. It's just that's just how I have it in my mind. So you know, it's just like a natural thing that's always in the front of my mind. So.
Yeah, man, I can't be hanging out with you all the time. Like, where you at? With Kinos. What? With Kinos?
Oh man, I'm not that bad. I just be chilling, but yeah, man, we'll see one of these days.
Well, they talking about. I was gonna say, you have anything else on it? Anything else on the docket, man? Come on now. You listen to any music I told you about?
Um,
No.
I think the only thing I've been listening to lately is a whole lot of Currency, a whole lot of Moneybag Yo,
Okay.
a whole lot of Dolph.
Memphis.
I've been listening to Jeezy lately for some reason.
Which Jeezy? Which one now?
Like Way Too Gone Jeezy.
I was saying there's two Jeezys. There's
Yeah.
Jeezy and there's Young Jeezy.
Yeah, this was like this had to be like 07, 08
Yeah,
Jeezy or something like that.
Okay.
But been listening to him a little bit. But you know, I've been listening to the same stuff over and over. You know, mainly Currency though. That's my go-to.
Listen to Run the Jewels.
Oh yeah. And you know, I saw. And matter of fact, I seen that online too. I seen their album cover or something. I do need to go back and listen to that because I haven't. I know I've been sleeping on it.
Mind, like it rides when you're in your car.
Okay.
It's different. Like I don't know if you heard any of the other albums.
No, I haven't. And I mean, I'm actually a Killer Mike fan. Like I always enjoyed Killer Mike. You know, when he came on the scene, early Atlanta scene, he was real dope to me.
It's different from his Killer Mike albums.
Okay.
Like the production, LP. You know, the other guy that raps with him. He does all the production. It's different. Trust me. Is
it kind of almost like? I mean, I know it's probably not this far left, but like when CeeLo started doing like the Gnarls Barkley stuff, like it's just kind of like a different lane for that person.
Yeah. I would say
Okay.
it's good rap. Like they talking about. It's funny. They made this album I think last year and a half ago, but it still applies to stuff today, like racism,
Gotcha.
all of that.
Gotcha.
So I mean, it's good, but you trust me. You gotta be in your right mindset.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always open for some intellectual rap or some conscious music. I mean, that stuff never gets old to me. I mean, because you know, I listen to all types of music, but if I had just one to choose, it would definitely be more enlightened music. You know, because it's more enjoyable for me. Like it feels like I'm having an experience with the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because I do listen to Moneybag every day.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Moneybag be rapping. I mean, Moneybag ain't Lupe Fiasco or Kendrick Lamar, but he be rapping about what he rap about.
Matter of fact,
and it's enjoyable.
Did you see what? Did you see what they said about Kendrick Lamar? That they were trying to cancel, quote unquote, cancel J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar.
I saw that earlier. Something about the fact that some girl called them out and said or alluded to, you know,
it was a rapper from
No Name.
Alabama.
I thought it was some girl called No Name.
No. J. Cole made a song that came out last night that was towards the chick named No Name.
Okay.
But she didn't respond. Another chick said something.
Okay.
Back. Her name is. Hold on, I'm about to get it right now. But anyway, have you heard the J. Cole song?
I heard the J. Cole song. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a big J. Cole fan, even though, you know, I'm more prone to listen to early J. Cole. I felt like he was in a different bag earlier on in the game than what he became. And I mean, he's still a great artist, and that song was really good. But
well, that's what you're talking about. I don't even know who No Name is.
Yes, I didn't know who that was till today, and it's still I really don't know exactly what she does. I don't know if it's music or whatever.
I'm sure she does music, but I've never heard a song from her. But they're trying to cancel Kendrick Lamar too.
I mean,
today is his birthday.
Bruh, these people need to sit down, bruh. Stop trying to cancel people. Like what type of time are people on these days? It's just like People. So what? So what? You cancel somebody. So what? Let me guess. You're perfect. You see what I'm saying? It's like sit down somewhere.
But the reason
like,
is bad because they said that Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole aren't out there protesting. But the ironic part is they are out there protesting.
I mean, my God, even if they weren't, that's their business.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What happens if J. Cole gets shot with a rubber bullet and loses an eye or dies at a protest? Then you're gonna be equally as sad. So just shut up and sit down. Like let people do whatever they're gonna do.
You know, it's funny because they asked, Top Dog, his boss. They asked him. They said, "Hey, your birthday's today, Kendrick. Like you should release an album." And Top Dog responded with, "Nah, y'all don't appreciate shit."
Real
talk.
Exactly, real talk. People are nuts these days, man. Like real talk. People be looking at other people like they're crazy. No, it's you, bruh.
Yeah, exactly.
Like people be moving with this herd sheep mentality and be thinking they cool. Yeah. They just go with whatever anybody else says. They don't think for themselves. They group oriented. Their personality only exists based on the group that they in. Like, bruh, ride solo, ride by yourself. Right. Like, prove to people that you think for yourself. Like, but that's not most people. People, cancel this person, cancel that. Like, man, if you don't sit down, bro, you don't want me to get on this subject. Like, people are just too much. Like, people think they got more weight than they do. You're not even smart. Like, just sit down.
Well, a lot of people were, I think, Earl Sweatshirt. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah,
he said,
odd future.
Yeah, he gave J. Cole an L.
He gave him an L.
Chance the Rapper gave him an L.
What you mean?
Like
an L like what?
Called him a loser, I guess.
Call J. Cole a loser?
Yeah.
Bro, Chance don't... Hey, look, man. I don't know if people know. I'm not really a Chance fan like that. Like, I've never listened to his music.
I was going to say...
And I'm not going to say his music isn't good.
No. That last album was atrocious. No.
Okay. So, okay. But, yeah, so, like, I've heard... Don't get me wrong. I've heard some stuff that he's been on, but... Of the stuff I heard, I was just like, I just ain't really feeling it like that. Like his style of rap, all that play, like little kid shit he be doing.
Disney rapper.
Yeah, like nothing against him. I ain't about to take his opinion over J. Cole. Like, man, come on, Jay, you talking to Jermaine, bro.
Jermaine Cole.
Jermaine Cole. J. Cole, like, come on, bro. You playing yourself. Get out of here.
Well, a lot of people were just talking about that because they said that was a diss to No Name that he released last night. And I was like, I didn't realize it, but it is what it is.
Well, I think the subject had to do with, like, I kind of saw a few people talking about it, and I guess it was like the girl No Name was trying to allude to that fact that we brought up about Black men not, protecting them or not, or the Black community not supporting other groups of people like trans people or something like that. It was some type of conversation that I saw.
He even says it in the lyrics, like, I'm not as smart as you think I am just because I got a college degree. He says it. He was like, I just sit back and quiet because, basically if he don't have nothing to say, he ain't gonna say it.
Right, and I mean, I think that's how it should be. You shouldn't speak unless you got something to say and you didn't thought it out. You don't want to get up there like LeBron James and talk about China and have to backtrack. I mean, some issues are a little bit deeper. It's a little bit deeper waters than what you think it is. So. Well. And I'm not about to get on a microphone talking about the trans community. I'm not because it's one of those things where it's just like white people who don't know what to do during this time. It's like you kind of don't know what to do. You don't know if you should go protest and say something. Should you just be quiet and let the other people talk that know more about it? Like, what do? You know what I'm saying? That's a personal decision you got to make. You can't cancel somebody, quote unquote, because they might not know what to say.
It's just crazy. They talking about since Kendrick don't want to release his album and cancel. I was like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all aren't real fans, man. Y'all can't possibly be real fans talking about that. But
I mean, people think they hold some kind of power when they cancel somebody.
It's just ungrateful, man. It's just ungrateful. So, but no, I don't have anything else. Let's see. It was something else I was going to tell you about because I know he's going to get riled up about it too. We talked about, I think last time we talked about Candace Owens.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they still getting on Candace Owens, man.
And that's
You feel a certain way about it.
Well, first let me say this. I have no problem with people coming at Candace Owens. I feel like, if you disagree with something that somebody says, you can debate them on it. I feel like it should never be to a point where you won't debate them on it. Because I personally want to hear both sides. I want to see why somebody thinks the way that they do. I'm not quick to cast somebody to the side. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with a racist person. That's the type of person I am. I want to see, because I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna be like, why do you think the way you do? Mm-hmm. What led to that?
Right.
Did your parents teach you that? Mm-hmm. Was it experiences that you had in your life? What is it? Tell me about who you are so I can understand it better. Because even if we don't agree, I want to understand. That's just my own curiosity. Like, I want to know what makes us different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because oftentimes I really genuinely feel like people don't understand how much they actually have in common with another person. Right. You got to talk to people. You got to see where y'all commonalities lie, because something y'all are gonna relate on some level. It can't just be like, oh, I don't like this person because of the color of their skin. But back to Candace Owens, I have no problem with people disagreeing with her. My issue with how people are is that, back to this last conversation we had about cancel culture. Stop trying to cancel people. Mm-hmm. If you disagree with them, debate them.
Right.
Or state your point and move on. You don't have to cancel them because they said something you don't like doesn't mean that they didn't say something that you might have should have agreed with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I know Candace Owens makes a lot of points about black people taking accountability for themselves. Black people stop playing the victim. And those issues I agree with her on. I'm not ashamed to say that, because we do need to take accountability. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Mm-hmm. Like, other groups hold themselves accountable. They don't leave their children only parents at a high percentage like we do. There's a lot of issues that need to be addressed in the black community, and somebody can say that without somebody supposedly getting mad about it. Mm-hmm. Like, bruh, if you don't want to be mad about it, take care of your kids. If you don't want somebody to get be more accountable, build a family structure, pass on generational wealth, make sure your kids are prepared. Like, that's nothing wrong with saying that. But my issue with Candace Owens, which is a lot of people's issue with Candace Owens, is that Candace Owens wants black people to be accountable, but she oftentimes doesn't tell other communities to be accountable for the things that they do. Mm-hmm. She doesn't go at white people and say, hey, y'all need to take accountability for all the evil shit that y'all did throughout history. That's my issue with Candace Owens, because I feel like she's biased in that way. And if people want to cancel her because of that reason, I understand it. But this idea that there isn't a duality with things, like, she could be equally as right as she is wrong. She can be wrong about a lot of shit. She can also be right about a lot of shit. That's the average person, in my opinion. Most people are not knowledgeable enough to be right about 100% of things, so they're going to have shit that they right about and stuff that they're wrong about. I'm sorry. But I feel like she's included in that. So in that way, she's just a normal person. She just has a platform. But this idea that, as soon as you cancel somebody, don't even utter her name. I don't even want to have a conversation about that. Like, how old are you? Like, we're adults. Like, you think somebody can get on TV in a debate show and somebody can bring up somebody's name and they'd be like, oh my God, cut the cameras off. Don't say anything about them or I'm leaving. Like you sound like a fifth grader. Like, up your adult game and be able to debate without or agree to disagree without acting like a child. Like, we can agree to disagree. Right. That's what adults do. So that's people can take it how they want to. I don't care. They can cancel me. The point of the matter is that black people do need to take accountability. Black people do need to stop playing the victim. Even if we are a victim, we need to stand up and fight back. Forget being a victim. Like, it's just like, there's nothing wrong with saying that. So that's where I'm going to leave it. About Candace Owens.
Oh, well, it's funny because they brought up a picture. It said, this is why black lives should matter to Candace Owens. I don't know if you've seen it.
Let me see. I'm gonna read it out loud, guys, so y'all can know what we're looking at. Okay, so it's a picture of Candace Owens standing in the middle of a group of black people, and the picture says, "This is why black lives should matter to Candace Owens." And it says, the NAACP comes to a 17-year-old Candace Owens' defense when she stated that white boys said that they was going to kill me because I'm black. Now she supports those type of white boys. So, I'm gonna make an interesting point about that picture because I don't think people want to go this deep. Okay. So what that picture is alluding to is that because black people supported her, she should support them back, which I don't think she doesn't support black people. I don't think because she says the shit she says means that she doesn't support black people. Even in that Revolt Summit debate that she had with T.I. and Killer Mike, I felt like Candace Owens was holding her own. I felt like really Candace Owens was the most polished person on the stage. Whether you disagree or agree with her or not, she was the most like detailed one as it relates to her arguments on stage. I'm not hearing what T.I. is talking about. I don't care what T.I. is talking about. If I can listen to one person, whether it be Candace Owens or T.I., I'm choosing Candace Owens. Strictly off the fact that she's more polished. Strictly because she knows the history better. She articulates herself better. She gets her point across better. Ain't nobody trying to hear from no 40-year-old rapper. Like, get up out of here. Like, so, but either way, the point I'm trying to make is that to that picture, there's this comedian guy, dark skinned kind of big guy, Ryan, I think it's Ryan Davis, that does like those videos where he just like filming himself. He does like these little. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, but he made a video about Candace Owens that I thought was interesting because he made a point and he tried to kind of gloss over this point because he knew what he was saying. And what it was is that he said that Candace Owens is that black person, that weird black cousin that you got that didn't quite fit in, right? And the reason why I feel like he kind of glossed over that because that's a big subject. And the reason why I can feel that is because I'm not going to say I was the weird cousin, but I've always been kind of different in the way that I think and the way that I move. And so oftentimes I really didn't fit in with black people neither. To be quite honest, I was kind of a person that I didn't fit in with white people or black people because I was kind of like, I felt like I was into so many different things that I wasn't like the typical black person and I wasn't like some black dude who was trying to be white. I just was somebody who was just interested in a lot of shit. Right. No matter what it was. Like I like things outside of my culture. Like I don't just listen to rap music. I'm a big Coldplay fan. Like I'm a big alternative music fan. Like not to say a lot of black people aren't, but it's one of those things where you kind of put other black people in categories like, oh, he lame or he's not cool. And I was always that dude. Mm-hmm. So when a guy makes a point like that, he was trying to say, oh yeah, Candace Owens is that person that black people didn't accept because she wasn't cool. That's not a good thing, guys, because there isn't like this monolith of black people. Like I feel like I represent black people very well, but I'm not like the stereotypical, I guess, black person or average black person in the sense of like only sticking to like from perception wise, like only sticking to things that are within our culture. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like my personality is a wide range of things. I've had a wide range of experiences that, make me have a different viewpoint than just being a black guy born in Tennessee. Like I feel like I'm a global citizen. Like I feel like I'm of the world. Like I don't feel like I'm this kid from a small town. So my thing is about that, about Candace Owens in that way is that, yes, black people, I'm sorry to tell y'all do alienate a lot of other black people. Yeah, that's just a fact. We saw it in school. He lame. Oh, he a nerd, or he ain't in the in crowd. He can't sit at the lunch table. Like that was my experiences as a black person. You know what I mean? Like I had more bad experiences than I had good. I'm just being 100 with you. Like with our community, I had way more bad experiences than I had good. Up until like a certain point in my life, like up until like almost being an adult. You see what I'm saying? Even to this day, I be having bad experiences. And I just be looking like, God damn, like just yesterday, I was parking and a girl was parked behind me. I'm getting out the car. She's trying to leave. Black girl. She honks her horn at me. And I'm like still sitting in the car. So I like look up and she like throws her hand out like move your piece of shit. And like I had the look on her face and everything, and I was just like, God damn. Like, so I moved my car, and I just sat there. She drove past. I'm just looking at her, and I'm just like, yo, like, our interaction shouldn't be like that. You see what I'm saying? It just be little shit like that where you be like, yo, this be the shit that turn you off about even people in your own community. You be like, yo, I rock with Black Lives Matter, but black people within our community will put you through some bullshit. I mean, I'm gonna just be 100 with you. Like we can't be sitting around here acting like, oh yeah, I love my people and I support everything. Like, yeah, I love them from a big perspective, big picture perspective. But they be putting me through some bullshit, and they've been putting me through some bullshit since a young kid. And I know there's a lot of people experiencing. I'm sure it was Candace Owens' experience. So of course you're gonna have some people that turn they back to the community because they already feel like the community don't fuck with them. So don't try to pull it. It's almost like when somebody in the black community dates somebody outside the race, and then the opposite sex tries to get mad about like, look at that black dude, look at that black girl talking to a white person or talking to somebody, not talking to somebody black. You didn't want them anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So don't try to pull them back in now. Like, oh, come back, please, to the community. Like, no, you've already alienated them. We've done that with so many people. Even people like we did. Like, as much as people try to act like they want to give Dave Chappelle credit and he's such a genius. When Dave Chappelle left the scene, when he left 50 million on the table and dipped out to Africa, people was calling him crazy, left and right. Basically cancel him, but that was basically cancel culture back then. So this idea that people won't turn their back, and props to them if they don't turn their back, because that means that, they're not gonna say a very mature person, but that's just a decision that they've made. But there are people out here that you cancel or that you ostracize in our community that they truthfully don't have nothing to do with the community, or they don't have as much pity for the community as somebody who was in that cool circle that did have good experiences within the community, that wasn't ostracized and made to be an outcast. And like I said, I know all about that. Like, some people might view me as cool now, but I wasn't, me being as smart as I am, that I feel like I am, that wasn't cool back in the day.
Well, too, a lot of stuff that we liked back then wasn't cool back then, like you said. But now all of a sudden the trend is that it is cool.
Right, and that should be pissing me off. It's like, nah, y'all not on what we own.
Yeah, like,
you see what I'm saying?
Like, anime or anything, but I watched a lot of anime back then. I read comic books.
Okay.
Because now everyone likes all these comic book movies and all this.
Because people start realizing that it was okay to be themselves, and that goes back to my point I made earlier, is that people at a certain point, and even, till this day, even though it's getting better, people just be followers. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? They like anything that's cool, they hop on. Any group that's popping, they want to be a part of it. Like, it's just like, bro, like, do you ever sit at home and self-reflect and think about the shit that you doing? Like, it's just like, you a sheep, bro. Like you have no personality. Like, you think you different, but yeah, you just the same as the whole group that you a part of. Like, it's just like, it's sad, bro.
Well, that's the thing when I tell people, like, a lot of times, they're like, hey, why don't we hang out when we was younger? I'm like, because I'm doing the same shit I was doing back then, but you didn't think it was cool, so, but I understand where you're coming from with Candace. But that's true. That's a lot. That happens to a lot of people, I got roasted day in, day out.
And I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be 100 with you, like. And people can take what I'm saying however they want to say, but I'm gonna defend somebody like Candace Owens over some chick that's twerking 24/7. Like, that's not talking about nothing. You can cry and yell and moan and complain about what I'm saying all you want to, but I'm gonna always take the more polished person. We ain't gotta, because I'm not gonna agree with the next person 100%, just like I'm not going to agree with Candace Owens 100%, but I'm always going to take the polished person. I'm always going to do that. The person that's actually talking about something, that's actually got some conversation, somebody that's actually intellectual, I'm taking that over Miss pink weave in her head twerking all the time. Like, y'all can have that. Like, that, like I can have that for real. Like, it is what it is. Take it how you will. So
that is true, man. I see. Getting riled up over there. I
mean, we in our potting bag right now. we potting right now. You know what I mean? People know what it is with me. I keep it 100%. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I got my own mentality, my own mindset. I'm not a sheep. I'm not a follower. You ain't gonna never see me following behind nobody. And most of y'all can't say that. So how? There it is. Bingo. There it is.
That's all said. That's all good, but you still don't get this work on this court.
Man, look, man.
Stop.
The J is deadly. The step back, the James Harden imitation step back is deadly, bro. I haven't took too many L's here in 2019, 2020.
We've been in a pandemic.
Well, mostly 2019. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, whether it be pickup games, one-on-one, team, I ain't took too many L's. So I'm just saying, I'm not. I'll gladly take a L. I mean, if that's what it comes to.
You've been dodging me for 10 years.
It's no dodging. It's just no dodging.
15 years. It don't matter how long you've been dodging.
I've never dodged anybody.
I used to hoop after work at Lowe's every day. Where is you at?
I didn't know that.
You didn't want to hoop.
But I don't think I was hooping back then though. I've always been hooping, but like around that time, I think I was more focused on other shit, so I wasn't really hooping around that time. But now, I mean, I'm back in it.
I've been hooping.
It don't matter. But I'm not a novice though. Anybody that know me, anybody see me play, I'm not a novice.
Ain't nobody seen you play.
Well, yeah, nobody.
I keep asking everybody.
Yeah, because that's just how it be. People, when you hooping, they not hooping.
You gonna get this work.
That's fine. We can do it.
Put your J's on right there. That's in front.
We you see what shoes I got on? I mean, like this is not just fashion for me. Like everybody, bruh, I'm telling you, Lance. The only reason Lance hasn't really seen me play because Lance, see, the people I used to hoop with back then, they lived in my neighborhood, and Lance didn't live in my neighborhood, so Lance was mostly never a part of what we were doing. You see what I'm saying? So only certain people have seen me play. Only certain people at Georgia Southern have seen me play. And obviously the only people I play in Atlanta are random people. And that just is what it is. But like I said, it ain't what you think it is. Like I'm just telling you, like it's not what I'm not even like one of those people that like, I'm just talking like, I dribble, I shoot. Like
every time I challenge you, you ain't nowhere to be found.
What's up? Just let me know.
You
I'm free. I'm free every day after 4:00. So when you hit me up, don't be talking about, we playing in Duluth. I'm not driving all the way to Duluth.
You said there's a court nearby.
There's a court 5 minutes from here.
And that's home court advantage, and
I'm not even concerned about that. But the point is that it ain't gonna be what you think it is. I can take an L. I'm cool with that. But the thing is, it's not gonna be what you think it is. It ain't gonna be like, I'm blowing Kinos out. It's gonna be like, shit, he made that. Like it's gonna be like that too. It's gonna be like, snap, like, you can play, and that's what people be saying. They be like, you can play a little bit. Yeah. Like when I be fishing, when I tell people I can fish, I really be fishing. When I tell people I hoop, I really be hooping. When I tell people I play pool, I really be playing pool.
You play pool too?
Yes. Anybody. Now that is one thing Georgia Southern people know about me. Like anybody that played around that time knew. You can ask Lance, because Lance know.
I play pool all the time at Georgia Southern. They might have got me mixed up with you or something.
No. Because you wasn't around. I'm saying Lance was playing, Brian was playing. It was bukus of people playing. But of course, we stayed in different dorms, so people had their own.
All of them, though. In everything.
But you're not going to beat me. But you're not going to beat me, though, in pool, especially not on pool. You can. I mean, anybody can win any game.
It's a pool table here.
There's a pool table in there.
All right, man. Herb, shut this down. I'm about to beat you in the pool.
Hey, guys, you know what it is? It's the most hated podcast. He about to take an L because I'm tired of all this talk. I'm Kenos Davis.
L's for the longest.
I'm Kenos Davis.
It's Paul Honeywood about to give Kenos Davis another L.
Y'all know what time it is. Karen, man, listen.
Hey, she got her dog back. Did you see that? She got her dog back. I'm dead serious. She got her dog back.
Karen, put that goddamn dog on the leash. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Subscribe, tell everybody about it, like it, hate it.
It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. We getting the Instagram up and ready. It is what it is. Peace.
L.